This is a pilot radio I've been working on, a model U-650. This is I've got a brochure here, and it's this one here, 16 guineas. It's actually from 1937, yet this is a brochure from 1938. It's, I think, the second most expensive set. Table set, anyway. Yeah, you've got a 17 guineas one here. This is probably the model to replace it. This is from 1937, but they were obviously still producing it in 38. It just says it's an extremely popular model. Awful lot of paper capacitors, wax pack capacitors, and that's the most recent replacement one. It's a Hunt's one. It looks like it's probably a 50s replacement. Interestingly, it had a 5 amp fuse, 5 amp plug on it, so it hadn't been used with an old Bakelite plug, so I don't think it'd probably been used much after the 70s. Definitely in a loft, because it had that fiberglass smell to it, glass fiber smell to it, of loft insulation. And don't think it had a back originally. The cabinet's in good nick. All I've done is really cleaned it and polished it up, because it seems such a shame to strip something like this back when it's not too bad. I mean, it's over 90 years old, so it's going to look like a piece of old furniture. So I want to try and keep it looking as like a radio that's sort of, been well looked after and loved and used, as opposed to it being completely stripped and made to look brand new. I just prefer this sort of look to it. Knobs and everything cleaned up all right. I've done the same sort of thing with the back, really. Yes, the speaker label's gone, but as you can see, the speaker label disintegrated a long time ago. There's no screws for the Tabia back, and it's got these sort of American style flying leads. You do see them on old British sets as well, but I've got it connected just to a short aerial at the moment. It's on as a bit of a test at the moment. There's one of the pilot lights is sort of coming on and off. I think that's just needs the contact cleaning a bit better, but other than that, it's working fine. I've cleaned and dusted the chassis and cleaned it, but I haven't got rid of the rust, because it's in such sort of original condition. I thought I'd just try and keep it looking like that, so like it's just maintained and working. The other pilot I've got, which is the one at the back there, I think that's a U-106. That's a 10 valve set. This one is 7. That's a 10 valve set, and that was in a lot worse condition. The cabinet, somebody had painted with a red varnish, so it just needed to be totally stripped down. And the dial was burnt out, but I got somebody I know who was a graphic designer. He redid the whole design of he reprinted the whole dial out for me based on other dials that we'd seen. I had most of the dial of this one left. There was just a couple of holes in it, and with another picture that we had of the same dial, he redid it all, and we could print it out and make a new dial for it. So this one had a lot more. Was a lot more. I stripped the chassis down and cleaned the chassis more and got it all polished and everything, because it needed a lot more work overall. But this one being, if I have a radio like this and it's looking okay, having just survived this length of time, I try to keep it as original as possible in its finish and everything. And the dial has survived. I don't think it's had a lot of use, because the output from the
Bunny syndrome. If it looks pretty
is plenty, and it's good, sensitive enough. The Magic Eye I've got in there is probably not at the same specification as the original, because the original one is terribly expensive, but it does work. It does close, not completely, but I could probably adjust the circuit for that. But I want to try and keep it as a radio that's just been maintained and looked after for its life, which it really has been. So knobs came up nicely. It's on radio. Oh, it's on radio 5 at the moment. I can get radio 5 and Talk Sport.
Do these plants have flowers?
There's Radio 5 again. That's Talk Sport. That's the tone control down there. I go over to long wave and
Great way of using an unheated greenhouse. If you don't want to grow
Radio
tomatoes,
4.
cucumbers and bedding plants, have an alpine house.
I should say, I didn't build all this on my own.
And then we've got 2 shortwave bands. We'll see if we can pick anything up. If you pull that out, you get a slower drive for shortwave. Shortwave is really about the only thing worth listening to now. Radio 4 and shortwave. I mean, luckily it's got 2 shortwave bands, so it's a bit more useful, because it can be quite interesting listening to shortwave while we've still got it. I intend to use a little transmitter anyway, and run something through it, run an output or something through. It's quite handy. On the back for the inputs you have a jack plug. Usually they're just banana plugs, I think, you put in the back of the old sets, but these pilots usually have a jack plug for an input, like for a gramophone or whatever. My other one at the back there, that actually has a headphone socket, and it says on it for headphones, so you can actually plug a set of headphones into it, and it mutes the speaker as well, which is quite nice. But this one doesn't have a headphone socket, but this one is a lot cheaper than this one. Was a special order set, 10 valve jobby, so this one is only a 7 valve. Yeah, quite pleased with the restoration overall. A nice set. I like these pilot ones. I like the nice big dial. I like the way it all lights up in different quadrants, which is quite nice. I don't have a console pilot. I haven't found an interesting one. Somebody was selling a very similar one to this not so long ago, but I missed out on it, I think. This is the one you often see, that one there. I often see quite a few of those, but they're usually in really awful condition. But no, the table ones are really nice looking sets.